Hello YouTubies, this is Joker Scribe and thank you for watching this most bodacious and amazing YouTube video. Right, so I don't usually talk about Deal or No Deal. It's not really something I can make many videos about because basically anything happens on the program. I mean, I've watched it for quite a number of years since it started. Not every single episode, but I watched enough of it. And there's one character that I really wanted to see his game, and I even said it to Phoebe. I said I want to see Roop's game. I really do want to see his game because he seems like an interesting character and he gives some decent advice to other contestants, so I want to see how he actually resolves that into his own game. And it turned out that I was right. I knew it was going to be a good game, and it turned out to be a fantastic game. It was almost like it was scripted or something. I had the feeling that something good was going to happen in that game, and something good happened in that game. And he won £250,000, which is pretty nice. You know, you can do certain things with £250,000. He had a chance of winning £500,000 if he went for the box 23. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually necessarily a good idea. If you take out box 23, you're risking it all in just one box. It doesn't matter, you know, if it's only one option that's really disastrous. You're still risking everything. So, you know, 4 boxes will give a reasonable result, except for one, which is resulting in half. But if you did go for it, you could have a chance of keeping the same amount, adding 10,000 onto it, or getting £500,000, and of course just going away with nothing. And you know, that would be the most incredible anticlimax if he got the confetti and then suddenly he lost it all in one box. It's a big gamble. You know, it's 1 out of 5. Now, of course, statistically speaking, if certain things come up more often than others, it means that the one hasn't been coming up enough. Let's say if you get like 5 nothings in a row, it's likely that that's not going to happen next time. And it's also likely that though, if you get enough of these boxes open, it's going to end up with a sort of even score along the way. You know, each one roughly about 1 out of 5, although statistics don't necessarily work that way. I'm just saying it's likely to happen in a statistical manner that if, you know, you get more of the low ones where it doesn't say double often, that if you did go for it and it hasn't come up for a while, it's likely to come up on your game. That is likely. But that doesn't necessarily mean it will happen, and I think he made a reasonable choice there. Not a bad choice because, you know, it's an incredible anticlimax. I would have to say that again, it really is, if you lost it all in one box. And, you know, at least he can now be remembered on Deal or No Deal. So well done, Ruth. He did Roop. Sorry, I get his name wrong. He's quite an interesting chappie on Deal or No Deal. I thought he was giving some really good advice, and I've been watching since he was there anyway. And after a while I said I really want to see his game, and it just carried on. The games carried on going and going. There was he wasn't turning up to the box, you know, to open his box, but new people were coming in and they were going, and suddenly he was his game. I always get the feeling, I mean, this is probably just how can I put it? It's paranoia, isn't it? That the programmers had this happen at specific times of years because they want a bigger audience, you know, have the £250,000 one. But then again, it could just be plain luck. You know, sometimes that happens, and you know, the £250,000 hasn't been in somebody's box for a while either. Remember, statistically speaking, somebody sooner or later is going to have it, and the one person who has it is usually more likely to win big money because they're less likely to take out the £250,000 if it's in their own box. Now, the only way they can actually take it out, of course, is if they choose to swap. Now, I thought he made a really good decision there, because that other lady who I think had, what was it, £750 in a box or something like that, she had a lot of reds. Now, if you have enough reds, sooner or later it's becoming more and more likely that you go have a blue in your box. You know, so it makes sense that he kept his own box, because it's likely that she would have had a lower number. That's statistics, so you know it does work. It worked there, and of course if he opened up the box 23 it would have worked there, but that's not necessarily how it would have ended up. Well, actually it would have done if he did it on this occasion, but okay, so well done to the Deal or No Deal contestant. He did really well, and I'm happy that he won big money. I don't usually talk about Deal or No Deal on my channel. There's been 7 winners in the last what is it, almost 10 years now. So I think it's 10 years. It's 7 years. It's since 2006, I think, wasn't it, when Deal or No Deal came on, or 2005? I can't remember the exact year, but I remember watching it when it originally came up. It was exciting and new. Now it's getting exciting and new again. Maybe because of the introduction of the new box, I don't know. I think they should add a few more contestants there. Maybe they should add another two contestants to turn this up to something like 750,000 or something like that. But of course that would mean that the producers would have to give away more money, and of course they've got to produce 5 episodes per, or 6 episodes per week. I don't think they're going to want to do that. So yeah, well done to Ruth, and I'm glad he did that. He seems to be somebody who is going to be remembered, and I would remember him actually, even if he didn't actually win big, because I honestly really wanted to see his game. So it's good. There's some good vibes coming from him, and I think people were warming up to that. And I'm also interested to see the guy from 118 or Chuckle Vision. I want to see how good his game turns out to be. No offense there, but yeah, I'm not sure what I would have done in those situations. I mean, clearly on the £10,000 questions I would continue, you know, right to the end. But you know, if you offered something like 70 grand or something like that for a £250,000 box, and you got 1p you could go home with, most people might actually choose not to gamble, because you're gambling with a lot of money there, and it's 50-50 stakes, and that can go wrong. And I think based on that, Ruth did the right thing by not opening box 23. Anything could have happened, and somewhere in another parallel universe you would have gone home with nothing. So it's good news. Yeah, he did the right thing. Entertaining show, and I don't think anybody's going to win 250 for a while now. You know, it seems to come up every year or so, but not necessarily every year. But this has come up really early, the 2nd of February, which is you know, the Valentine week, and he also won a holiday, so he's won some big stuff there. I just found it interesting that one of the other women who won it was also, there was fancy dressed and all that, and I found that interesting, that this should happen on these sort of days. It might just be that, you know, this sort of time of year when they come up with these sort of things, that people are more daring and they go for it. But then again, if you look at the week before, people were going away with nothing, and statistically speaking, somebody sooner or later was going to go away with something bigger, something big and juicy and tasty. That's what they were going to go away with, and that was Ruth. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. See you later.